breathe in and out. Take in those elements. Grow thicker, stronger. When you feel your strength as a tree, nod your head. Take note of the tree that you are. What kind of tree? You're an oak, or a maple, perhaps a fir or a pine. Feel the tree that you are. And when you see and feel yourself as a tree, look around with your mind's eye, the trees in the circle that you are a part of. You may see your branches connected. Look around within and see the different trees that are part of the grove assembled here. Now, focus on a spot below your navel. Feel the energy of those elements come to your center. As you breathe in and out, take those elements of the tree, bring them into your center. Let them warm and energize you, sustain you, and quench you. We have taken this energy to your center, and when you are ready, open your eyes.
Milwaukee for that very dynamic and invigorating meditation. Very soothing voice. Well, folks, hello. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Anna, and I'd like to sort of pick up a little bit where Luella left off in talking about the goddess Brid, or Brige, or Brigid, or Bridget, or any of these variants of her Celtic name. And if you'll notice that we've assembled an elemental altar for your contemplative focus this evening, and we've got all four of the elements represented. So the incense and the athami in the east, fire in the south, water in the west, and the citrine crystal in the north. Now the water and the fire are clearly the focal points of this evening, and the goddess Bridget being the goddess of the smithcraft, the flame of inspiration, the flame of creativity and passion, and then her healing waters, her womb. It wells up from the earth itself. The name of this holiday, Imbolc, which is spelled Imbolc, but the B is silent, literally means in the belly. And so we talked earlier this evening about the lactating ewes giving birth to their lambs this time of year, but also the holy wells are in the belly of the earth mother. And people instinctively know that this is the time of year when we approach these wells with reverence and delight, to renew our spirits and cleanse ourselves through what's been a dreary, dark, brutal winter, right? So we're in that transitional phase. You can almost feel spring coming. It's not quite here yet. So we need a little divine oomph to get us through the remaining weeks, and that's what part of the fun of this holiday is about. So what I'd like to draw to your attention is the fact that in the chalice, the water was specially selected by me a year ago. I had the great pleasure of being at Circle Sanctuary. Has anyone ever heard of that place in Wisconsin? They have their own beautiful hot mineral spring bubbling up out of the ground in their gorgeous, 200-something acres of land that they have, dedicated to the goddess Brid. And I kid you not, this was the most frigid day of my life. People thought I was crazy for venturing up there to go to their Imbolc, because without the wind chill, it was 37 below zero that day. And I said, I'm going to make a day trip to Wisconsin in a crappy car. Why not? Oh, and I left my cell phone at home too, so I caused my family quite a bit of grief. But when I had heard, since the day had been so cold, the folks at Circle Sanctuary said, well, we're going to be in the barn, literally. So the ritual space was inside this very cheerful barn. But when I heard that they had, and the well was just bubbling even through the frozen sleet and everything, I said I have to make my own spiritual pilgrimage to that well. And I did at midday. And I brought a glass bottle with me. And I brought my beautiful ELF camera, which broke. The cold broke my digital camera. I bought a replacement since, but that was quite disturbing to see. It's like, it's better to die. So, but I made it through the snow, and I collected my bottle's worth of water from Bridget's holy well. So what I would like to invite you to do when you feel so inspired, and we will talk more about inspiration in a bit, is to just come up and, cleanse yourself, connect with this really primal element that came from a sacred place, and use it to awaken whatever you feel inspired to do. What do you want to manifest in the coming year? That is my question to you. What creative pursuits are in the offing for you? So think about those things when you approach the well, when you approach the flame. And I would also invite you, Milwaukee was very kind enough to try to replicate, and he did a pretty good job. Good job. The very complicated reed cross with a pipe cleaner cross, which is much more portable and less likely to break. So you're welcome to take one of those with you. And also, since purple is the color of inspiration, and Bridget is the goddess of poetry, smithcraft, and healing, please feel free to take one of these as well. And if you wish, you can use the Athami to inscribe your desire on your candle, and therefore imbue it with more magic that is personal to you. So, those of you who don't know me don't know the fact that I am a heathen, and I follow the path of the Norse gods. And there's a lot of overlap between the Norse gods and the Celtic ones. So in thinking about the goddess Bridget, and in thinking about the rune work that I like to do at home, I came up with some interesting thematic parallels that I'd like to share with you today. So how many of you are familiar with the runic alphabet, or heard about it, or use it for divination? Okay, that's really cool. The rune today that I think totally suits this holiday is called Kanaz. And it looks like a Pac-Man mouth, or the greater than, equal to, whatever. I wasn't good at math, you get the idea. Sign, a symbol. And the literal meaning of it is torch. Again, the connotation with Bridget's fieriness is rather astounding. But in the Old English rune poem, the poem for the Kanaz rune says, "Torch is to every living person known by its fire. It is clear and bright, and it burns when the noblemen rest inside the hall." So, unlike other forms of fire, when we look at the Kanaz rune, we're talking about that which human beings create and harness for their own self-development, for their own intuitive abilities in bringing forth their creative talents. So perhaps you might be challenged to want to grab a candle and inscribe it with the Kanaz rune, and then think, and then when you burn the candle later, what is it that you are paying homage to with your creativity? What do you want to manifest? What do you want to invoke? What ideas do you have swarming in your brain that you've been meaning to commit to in some artistic project? And by the way, folks, we all are artists, whether you realize it or not, because it's our divine mandate to create. And we do it in so many forms, we're not even aware of it. So you are an artist. Think about that. And then think about this room and how this room can help manifest the things that you want to have happen in your life this year. Because this is a very good year. Okay, now, to sort of invoke the properties of Kanaz, if you are able, I'd like to ask you to stand up. And just to sort of raise a little energy in the room, loosen up a bit, we're going to do a couple of toning exercises.